Hey, what's going on YouTube? Gary here, gzduel, here to bring you guys a match on Dueling Network, and I'm playing some Hazy Flames. Now, my opinion of this deck, since I play it in real life, I know a lot of the weaknesses of the deck. The primary weakness is you open up with hands that you really can't play out of. Like sometimes you're drawn to 2 Garunics and then like three Rekindlings, and what are you gonna do? Like you can't win. But other than that, it's a really fun deck to play. Honestly, like your opponent, I love the face your opponent makes when you use like Onslaught of the Fire Kings into like their whole field, and then they activate Starlight Road thinking that it's alright, but then Garunix was destroyed by Starlight Road's negating effect, and Garunix will come back next standby phase and destroy everything again. So Garunix is just a really troll card. Now, it's not competitive enough. Honestly, it's really not competitive enough. Sometimes you'll have to use a lot of resources. So for example, I have to use Tefnuit, right? So that's 1 card from my hand, and I have to tribute summon it for Peritons. Now that's 2 cards from my hand. Now I have to use Periton's effect to discard another fire monster. So that's 3 cards from my hand, and those 3 cards could potentially yield me nothing if he has a torrential tribute. So it's a really all-in deck. Really just you either get this play off and get significant advantage, or you don't get this play off and you lose. So that's why cards like Rekindling are saving graces, because without Rekindling, you're really in a position to just die. Okay, so I special summon out Cerberus by using the Periton effect, Cerberus, and Sphinx. Now Sphinx has her own effect as well. I consider this maybe a little bit of a plus, I guess, that if you get Sphinx's effect correctly, if you guys don't know what Sphinx does, is you can mill the top card. Now if you call out the actual type, so whether it be monster, spell, or trap, then you can special summon 1 fire monster from the graveyard or your hand. Now I get to special summon out something because I called monster, and it was Swift Scarecrow. Okay, so I'm gonna go into first of all a Photon Strike Bouncer and a Basil Tries. Now he has 2 back rows, so I was like, what the heck do you have there? Do you have a Mirror Force or something? So I was really second guessing whether or not I should put Photon Strike Bouncer in attack position, and I ended up just moving Strike Bouncer into defense position because I see that Strike Bouncer has 2,000 defense. So I was like, cool, 2,000 defense. That means if he summons a Gem Knight normal monster, I will be able to just destroy it, because yeah, no, it wouldn't be able to destroy me because it's just 100 attack short. Now I'm going to try to attack, and it seems like everything is fine. So I was like, okay, what is your back row? And then he reveals to me his Gem Knight Fusion. So I was like, oh, so you're just setting, I guess, bluffs then? That's okay. That's okay too. Good thing for me, my opponent is playing Gem Knights, so it's also a very overcommitting deck. You have to waste your hand a lot. You have to waste 3 cards right there, like Gem Knight Fusion, Obsidian, plus a Garnet in order to get something comparable to what I have. Now he's going to attack my Basil Tries first, because Basil Tries has the effect that can remove Zirconia next turn if I wanted to. Now I'm going to activate Hazy Pillar. Okay, so Hazy Pillar allows me to normal summon Sphinx without a tribute. Now I'm going to try to use Sphinx's effect, but I'm going to ask for a response first just in case. And he's going to say no with Solemn Warning, so I was like, that's fine. He's going to pay 2,000 life points. I have Rekindling, so I have the ability to sack him at any time. Now he has a back row. I want to test out the back row. If it's a torrential tribute, I don't want to use Rekindling right now, even though if I use Rekindling right now, I probably would win. So I'm going to attack first, see if he has a response. If he doesn't have a response, then I'll just press the advantage right here. So he's going to activate Compulsory. So I was like, oh, so that's what you had, Compulsory. You couldn't have targeted my Hazy Flame monsters, because my Hazy Flame monsters are, have that inherent effect of being non-targetable. Now I was like, I have Torrential Tribute, so if he summons another monster, which he should, I'm gonna Torrential Tribute, but he's gonna play Heavy Storm. Yes, Heavy Storm. And I was like, okay. I know I'm going to take a lot of damage. I calculated for it, but I was just really hoping you summon something. Now I'm going to have to use my Rekindling and get back 3 Cerberuses. Now I misplay a lot over here. I should have overlaid 2 of the Cerberus in order to get into a Gauntlet Launcher. Use Gauntlet Launcher's effect twice, destroy both of the monsters on his side of the field, and then attack with 2,400 attack and 2,000 attack from the 3rd Cerberus. Now I didn't do that because I was stupid, and I summoned Basil Tries. Now even this was a really bad move, because Basil Tries, while it has 3 materials, it has more attack. So I should have attacked Garnet first, and then removed Zirconia second. So yeah. I'm pretty dumb. I'm pretty bad at the game. So now that I didn't end the game right there, and I didn't do as much damage as I would like, now I have a Basiltrice on the field. He could freely just, remove 2 cards, special summon out Redox, and I can't do anything about it. So I drew into like Garunix, the best card of the deck, and I see that I have a Periton in my grave. So I was like, I got excited. I was like, I'm gonna remove the face down monster. I'm gonna get Periton and all that stuff. But I read that Periton's like cannot be special summoned, so I was like, oh, that's a bummer. So I guess I'm forced to get Sphinx and see if I can't sack him with like Sphinx's effect. So I'm gonna activate Sphinx's effect. Hopefully I mill a monster, and once I do, yes, I do, I have the opportunity to special summon the Garunix, but I'm not going to. I'm going to special summon out Cerberus so that I can banish it and then win from there. So that was a really clutch win. It was a really close one. My deck isn't really finalized yet, so I will be making changes. You guys can see the tentative profile. Over here, I'm going to just side in these Effect Veilers out and side in the Maxi because he's going to spam a lot. And I didn't anticipate that he'll have like, a reasonably annoying effect monster until second game. I opened up like this and I was like, no, it's fine, it's still playable, not really. And then he opens up Rabbit, so I was like, oh, really wish I had Effect Veiler this time. I'm gonna have to side the Effect Veilers back in. Now he's gonna summon out the 2 Garnets, so he's gonna shrink his deck by 2, and not only that, he's going to go into the King of Furrow Imps. Really good card for his deck because King of Furrow Imps gets to allow him to search out his deck for a reptile monster. He's gonna search out Mass Chameleon, and Mass Chameleon's effect is you can normal summon this card, and once that happens, he can special summon a monster from his graveyard with 0 defense. Now Garnet is 0 defense, so he'll go into like a synchro play because Mass Chameleon is a synchro monster as well. He can choose to go into an Exceeds play. Now I drew into Tycho number 2, and I was like, God, seriously? And he has Maxi. I'm probably gonna lose this one. So I just wasted 3 cards from my hand, and I'm gonna try to like use the Basiltrice. Now he's gonna compulse that too, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna set the Call of the Haunted, and during his turn he's just gonna be like, nope, Mystical Space Typhoon. Oh, okay, I guess I lose this one then because I have Garunix and I have a Cerberus. Now I'm gonna side these Effect Veilers back in. I'm gonna take out the Circle of the Fire Kings because it takes too much setup, and I'm also going to take out one of the Call of the Haunted because Call of the Haunted is just maybe too slow, perhaps too slow. And even if I own a Call of the Haunted, there's nothing that's big enough against her Zirconia and all that stuff. So I'm going to take out the Call of the Haunteds completely and swap them in for Mystical Space Typhoons because he plays a lot of back row. Now it's my turn to go first. This deck actually doesn't do well from going first, except this play right here. You can normal summon out Cerberus and just end your turn, I guess. Okay, so I have Effect Veiler ready in case he has Rabbit, but it seems like he didn't open up just as broken as last turn. So he's gonna attack. I'm gonna take 900. I'm gonna search out Ticket, and all of a sudden, my Hazy Flame monsters become live. It's my turn. I draw into Lance, which is pretty good. I'm gonna try to see if I can't use the Hazy Flame Sphinx's effect. So I'm gonna activate Pillar, okay, and normal summon Sphinx. I'm going to activate Sphinx's effect. Here's where, Yu-Gi-Oh! Comes into the luck factor. I'm going to call Monster, and I mill a trap. Seriously, guys, I only have 2 traps, 2 Torrential Tributes in the entire deck, okay? 2. Because I sided out the Call of the Haunted this turn. So if it was a spell, I would understand, because over like a third of my deck is spell, and, more than half of it is monsters. Now, I mill a trap, and I was just like, okay, this is just bad luck. I'm gonna have to use the Lance in order to save the Sphinx, and hopefully this time during my turn I will be able to possibly actually get my effect off. Now he's gonna normal summon Sardonyx, and he's gonna use Redox's Reborn effect in order to get Garnet. Now I think he's gonna go into the King of Furrow Imps because he wants to get a Mass Chameleon. So I was like, no, I'm gonna use Veiler on that. I don't want you to get the advantage right there. I have a way of dealing with Furrow Imps. Maybe I can remove it next turn, but maybe not because he's set back row. Now, considering that Sphinx is my only play, this has to go off. I have to call Monster, and it has to be a monster, and in fact, it is a monster. So I was like, yes, okay, great. Now I'm going to get the Cerberus back, asks for a response, doesn't have one, and I think I'm going to go into Basiltrice. I'm probably like almost 90% sure he's going to have a back row to deal with it, but I'm going to do it anyways because I have Dark Hole. Okay, so I'm getting Basiltrice, and yes, of course he has Compulse, and I'm going to use Dark Hole because I really don't want him to search for the Masked Chameleon, and I'm going to normal summon Barong, test out the waters. He doesn't have a back row, so I'm going to attack for damage. I could have, I don't think I should have. I could have summoned out Barong and then Dark Hole, and then get Barong's effect in order to search for something like Onslaught of the Fire Kings. But it feels like he's in a situation where he doesn't have too many monsters to work with. I would rather just have the monster field presence rather than, getting Onslaught of the Fire Kings, which requires that my opponent has on field presence. So I'm going to attack with Barong. He's going to use Fiendish Chain, and I'm going to use Lance. The reason why I use Lance is because I know he likes to set like bluffs in the back row, and I drew into Heavy Storm, so I was like, okay, if this Heavy Storm goes off, I'm like 90% sure I'm going to win. So I'm going to activate Heavy Storm anyways and let's see what he has in the back row. And yes, he does set a bluff, and he does have Compulsory Evacuation. He couldn't use it because I already chained Lance that turn. And so cool, I get to keep my Barong, and he's just in a defensive position again. I draw into Onslaught of the Fire King, which is really fortunate for me because I didn't have to search it out. I just traded nothing, basically. Now he summons Gem Armadillo. He's going to search his deck. He's probably going to get his Obsidian. Yes, he's going to get Obsidian. And I remember, since I Heavy Stormed one of his Gemini Fusions, he has the ability to just get the Gemini Fusion back into his deck by, banishing the... I think it's to the hand, yeah, by banishing one Gemini monster. But it turns out he already has the Gemini Fusion from his hand already. Now he wants to keep the Garnet because he wants to use Obsidian's effect to get back Garnet. Now he's going to attack for damage. I'm going to take 1,100. And when he attacks with Garnet, I'm not going to actually use the Swift Scarecrow because I feel like I could get rid of his monsters anyway. I draw into Rekindling, not very useful at the moment. So I'm going to just use this, Special Summon Garunix. Now end my turn with that so that Garunix will just blow up everything during his next standby phase. So I destroyed his Zirconia and destroyed his Garnet. Now he has 3 cards in his hand. He's going to try to make a push right here. He's actually going to Dark Hole my Garunix and go into Rabbit. Now if I had Effect Veiler, we wouldn't be, like in a tough situation, but I don't. He's going to go into 2 Garnets, which is fine. I have Swift Scarecrow, so even if he tries to attack directly, even if he tries to special summon out the Redox, I will be able to do something against that. So I'm going to use Swift Scarecrow, and it ends up helping me win the game, because next turn, my Garunix is going to come back, and my Garunix is actually going to blow up his entire field, so even if he goes for Cowboy right now for damage, I would still win. So I hope you guys enjoyed this match. This is Gary GZ Duels, signing out.